All right, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Alpenblow air pad pump, mattress pad pump by this company called Alpenglow Gear. All right, this thing, it's the lightest pump on the market, and it's also the quietest. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be airing up this pad right here. This is the REI Helix. And the way that I'm going to be airing this up is there's no batteries. So you have to use some kind of a battery source or one of these battery packs. So this is the Nightcore NB 10,000. So I'm going to be using that and timing how long it takes to air up my pad. The other thing that I'm going to be using for a power source is solar, right? So I'm going to be connecting this directly to this dark energy solar panel, okay? And this is the Spectra 18 watt solar panel. So I'm going to be using just the sun to air up the mattress pad, and I'm also going to use the battery pack. So we're going to go outside and see how long it takes to air up my pad and to see if it's actually worth it or not. They say that it weighs 8.5 grams with this ring. However, I've got the ring for my pad on here, so I'm just going to weigh it and see if it's somewhere close. So yeah, 9.42 grams. That's pretty light. It looks like it's pretty much done. It doesn't look like it can really take in anymore after that 2-minute and 30-second mark. So that actually happened a lot faster, but I can definitely tell that the mattress needs a few more blows of air. So let's see how many blows of air it takes to get this thing completely full. Okay, so that took about 2 more breaths of air. I wouldn't want it any more tighter than that. That's pretty tight. You could probably get 1 more breath in if you like it really tight, but I'm pretty impressed with that. You know, the idea that I can just plug this in and start working on getting my tent set up or doing something else is pretty cool. Yeah, so you can see it's just needs a couple more breaths. And that's pretty tight right there. Let me see if I can get 1 more breath in. Yeah, so 3 breaths for max fullness. 2 breaths is pretty much where I'd like it, and that's awesome. I'm really stoked because this thing is just, it's nothing. It weighs nothing. All right, so on this part of the video, I'm just going to be talking about why I decided to go with the Alpenglow or the Alpenblow micro inflator over some of the more popular air pad pumps that you see a lot of the people that have a following are talking about. Okay, so the number one thing that I like about this product is that it's kind of like garage grown. Okay, it's not a big company. This guy literally puts these together in his garage, I think, and I believe he used to work for Tesla, so that's really cool. I'm actually going to go click the about page. Yeah, they're assembled in California. He went from designing electric cars to building backpacking gear. So that's kind of cool. You can kind of see some of his original designs up to the point where you see the one that I have. It's nice supporting somebody that isn't big and is just making these things out of his garage. It's just kind of neat, right? The other thing that I like about this thing is how quiet it is. So this thing is like super quiet. Like you get a few steps away from it, you almost can't hear it. Like it's that quiet. I know in my video it kind of sounded loud, but I had literally right next to the speaker. But
I'm telling you guys, it's very, very quiet. And the reason why I like that is because when I'm out elk hunting or deer hunting or do any kind of camping like that in nature, I don't want this like whining, loud, you know, piece of gear that's annoying to be around. And if that's important to you, you're going to really like this thing a lot. I'm telling you, it is quiet. It's not going to disturb the elk or anything or any of the other campers. They're not going to be annoyed at you and be looking over at you every time you turn your pump on. And I was actually shocked that it didn't take a lot of time. I was thinking, I would plug it in and, start working on my tent and all this other stuff. Heck, a couple minutes later and this thing's done. Like, that's pretty impressive. So I could probably just use this thing and then give it to one of my friends, let him use it, and then everybody in camp can kind of use this thing and, be on their way. So I'm going to go over here to the store real quick. It is at this time $60. That is a little more expensive than the other ones, but he's got something that nobody else has. It's the lightest and quietest air pump in the world, pretty much, that I know of. And there's something else that's really neat is being able to plug it into my solar panel and let it run off the sun or use my little power bank. And here you can see it also works on phones that have USB-C. If you have the lightning cable, it doesn't work, but if you have a USB-C, it actually works. So you can literally work this pump with your phone. That's pretty impressive. you know, uh, it's got quite a few reviews. All of them, it's 5-star. Everybody just seems to love this thing. Some people are reporting that some of the bigger pads are taking 4 minutes. That's fine, right? So I'm gonna go over here to this store. A lot of you probably know these pumps. These are the ones that everybody's talking about. I actually have some experience with this one and this one, and they're, it says 1.2 ounces. I don't like that how they are saying it's 1.2 ounces. That's without the battery. Like, you still have to put a battery in this thing and then it weighs more. But just tell us what it weighs with the battery. Don't try to take the thing apart and then just, you know what I mean? I don't like that. It does. All of them have pretty good reviews. Everybody seems pretty satisfied with them. And hey, if you are by yourself or you're car camping or you just don't have people that care if you are making this loud, annoying sound, airing your pump up, then by all means, these are cheaper and they probably blow your pad up to where you don't have to take any extra breaths of air. But that being said, I've been around these things when they're running and they are loud. Like, it sounds like a little turbo engine or something. It's not very satisfying, to say the least. And this is a really big company, guys. I mean, they got all kind of pumps for beds, bikes, boats. They got repellents. They've got showers, lanterns, power banks, hand warmers, vacuum back, like all this other stuff. And that's cool, right? Like, okay, got it. If you want to support this company, that's fine. But I really like this. It's just not very often that you come across a product that is garage grown that's just better than everything else out there on the market. That's pretty rad. So I think if you are interested in spinning or not having to use your lungs to air up your mattress pad, especially if you're doing like a long backcountry hunts like me, 10 days, 12 days, and you're constantly on the move, you are inflating, deflating, inflating, deflating all the time. And it's nice to be able to just go to camp, just plug this thing in, and then just a couple puffs and you're ready to go. And it doesn't weigh anything. You don't even know it's on you, right? So I'm pretty impressed with this. if you like this and you got some value out of this video, please hit the like button. That helps my channel out. And if you want, please subscribe. I'm going to actually make another review on this thing because one of the questions down here was, can this thing work with starting a fire? Could you stoke a fire or cool yourself off? You definitely can't cool yourself off, but I did already try this, and you can stoke a fire, especially if you've got like a little stove for your tent, or you're just out in the cold in the wintertime and you just need a little extra boost when there's no wind. This thing can absolutely work, and I'm going to make a video and share that next. You want to make sure that you come back and look for that video and watch that, because I'm going to show you me building the fire and using this thing and holding it up there to prove that what they said here, that know that it doesn't work, it actually is not true. It does work, and it works pretty good. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you later. Bye.